Hi guys, this is Shri. This is the fourth video for the fourth blog post, which talked about surrender. And that is a skill that I'm still learning. I have had lots of experiences like the one that I described in the blog, where I was really able to completely step back and in a sense let God or my highest self, my highest potential take over and just trust in that process. I've said a couple of times in these videos that enlightenment is a moment to moment thing, and although I learned surrender, then the next time there is a crisis, the first instinct that we have is to want to both push the worry away, push the situation that is worrying us away, and try to fix it at the same time by ourselves. We often forget to step back into trust as the first response to a crisis. And do I know the trick? Do I know how to have that as my first response? To be completely honest with you, I don't. But I am at a point, I think, today has been actually a little bit of a rough day, but I am able to at least see that I'm not being able to surrender and sort of allow myself the time and the space to get into that space of surrender. So what I would suggest is that if you are in going through a really tough time right now, and you are feeling and you're wanting to control the situation and the solutions and how it is resolved, if you are not able to go into that space of complete surrender, just notice that what you're trying to do is control. And so when you try to control, what you're doing is you're sort of holding the energy very tightly, and it's sort of you're not allowing anything to flow in, you're not allowing solutions to flow in. And so when you begin to realize that this might be a place where this might be a space or a situation which is teaching me surrender, I recognize that I'm not able to get there, but let me express gratitude for going to the previous blog, for the fact that I'm being given a situation where I can again learn to surrender and trusting in yourself and knowing that there will be a point that you will come to. God brings you there. He or she might bring you dragging and kicking and screaming, taking you through multiple iterations of the situation getting worse and worse because you're trying to control it. Or he might, and in the end, you just sort of give up put your hands up and surrender. Or he brings you to a place where you're able to do that in the first instance. We have a beautiful story in one of the Indian myths about this as I was talking to you. It just reminded me that there's a story in the famous book called Mahabharata. The Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata. And in that myth, what happens is that there is it's a long story, but one of the episodes is that there is a disrobing that takes place, an assault of a woman, and a lot of princesses are she's in open court. the court is full, and she, who is the queen of who should be the queen, is brought in front of everyone, and they start disrobing her. And she's actually, this is a story where she has five husbands, and none of them raise a hand to help her, and she sort of calls on each one of them, and none of them helps. And finally she just all the while she's trying to hold on to her dress and not allow the sari to be unwound. And finally she sort of lets go of her hands and just calls out, "Krishna, please help me. Help me, I need help." And at that point where she's stopped trying to control the sari from unraveling, and she thinks that she needs to control it, and she lets go and she surrenders, there is an unending supply of sari, and the people who are trying to disrobe her just get so tired, because it doesn't seem as if she will ever get disrobed. And the biggest thing in that story is that it is when you come to that point of complete trust and surrender that she intervenes. So hope that helps you to think about surrender, and what the stages are to get you there. We don't always learn how to get there, but I think every situation that we learn to go there earlier and earlier, the more we begin to rest back into that trust about life, and knowledge that everything works out. So hope that's helpful. This may be a little bit longer than I expected, but take care. I hope you can use that. Lots of love to you.